What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to another disappointed match reaction here on Anfield Agenda after Liverpool were beaten by 2-0 over in Paris in the first leg of the Champions League quarter-final. Make no mistake, folks. This wasn't a 2-0 that we were competitive in. This was a 2-0 that could have easily been 3, 4, 5 or 6 and we couldn't have complained one bit. Liverpool, a team that's supposed to believe they can win the Champions League, go away from home and don't have a single shot on target. Liverpool, a team that this manager says he wants to play possession-based football, had 26% possession. Liverpool, a team that he wants to press and win the ball back, absolutely were invisible and anonymous when it came to pressing. Paris Saint-Germain were everything Arne Slot dreams about but is unable to implement. This game was a hiding, make no mistake about it. It's only by the grace of them being unable to shoot properly that this tie is, in theory, in the balance. But for me, I have zero hope going into that second leg. We were thoroughly outplayed, and I expect we'll be thoroughly outplayed again. This team is devoid of leadership, devoid of an identity, devoid of confidence, and apparently now devoid of fight as well. Arne Slot sent that team out there not to get a hiding. That was it. That was the extent of his ambition. Over to you guys to have your say, but for me, it is yet again another example of a manager who is clueless. A manager who cannot get his words to have any impact on the players. And some of those players, they've left a lot to be desired. If we're being really honest about this, some of these guys are still surviving on reputation. They're not putting in the hard yards. They're not putting their body in the way. Look at the difference with how they defend and how we defend. They lose the ball and they're hunted in 2s and 3s to win it back. We lose the ball and we're jumping back on the ground, rolling around because the ref didn't give a free kick. Time and time again, they found space in behind us and they utilised it. They were finding space in the 18-yard box. Nobody was finding a man to stay tight to challenge. It was fucking pathetic again. So to anybody that wants to try to justify keeping this manager, you are part of the problem. It cannot go on. It can't. It's not getting better. It isn't going to get better. This is usually the part where we say it's Liverpool. At Anfield, anything's possible. That's all he's got to live on here, is the mythology of Anfield and the hope that by some miracle, PSG don't show up and we play to the absolute best of our abilities. I don't see it happening. And I don't say that to be a hater. I say that based on the evidence of what we've seen over the last 90 minutes again. This is Liverpool's 16th defeat of the season. This is Liverpool's 3rd loss in a row. How much more do you expect fans to take? Do your jobs, Hughes and Edwards. Do your fucking jobs and man up. Be the people that you're supposed to be. The people we were pitched with, the bold, brave decision makers. The only bravery about this is that you guys have the fucking cheek to show your face in public. It's fucking pathetic. If United get Enrique or Nagelsmann in the summer, would you be scared? You're not getting Enrique, so don't have to worry about that one. Look, United, I don't think are a great team. They're better. The fact they've one game a week helps a bit as well. The fact that they did what our board are unwilling to do, which is admit it isn't working. Even with a coach that they made a big deal of bringing in. They brought in somebody to at least maintain the standards of their football club. And he's got a reaction from the players. He's gone back to basics. He's filled the United players full of confidence. And the rest is history. 1 defeat and 10 for Carrick. Whereas I, as a Liverpool fan, Ava, my friend, I'm supposed to believe that our best chance to get Champions League football next season is under this man. That has again lost 3 in a row for the 2nd time minimum this season. It is absolutely unacceptable that we're being asked to try to support what is unsupportable. It is pathetic what we're seeing over and over and over again. We're so crap we can't even get trashed properly either. The only thing that kept us in that game was the fact that PSG couldn't shoot. Dembele should have probably had a hat-trick there today. Time and time again, we were nowhere in our own 18-yard box. How many times do we have to give somebody 5 yards of space inside our own 18-yard box before we learn a lesson? How many times do we not track runners? How many times do we move forward and abandon our roles of fullback and immediately ping straight in behind us? We're too easy to turn, we're too easy to get at, but most importantly, we showed zero intent to attack in that game. Zero. And that is unacceptable with the quality that we have in the squad. Bananong said, sick of these embarrassing performances. Slot shouldn't be allowed on the plane home. Never seen anything worse in my 23 years as a Liverpool fan. And yet some people, mate, will write to try and vindicate this somehow. And will still go back to the Diogo situation and will make every excuse possible. Not because they truly believe in it, but because they're just doing the bidding of the club, who are trying to, again, gaslight their own fans. Nobody believes this situation is better with Arnott in charge. Every single fan I know thinks it's more than time to sack him. Whether you think it should have been done in November or December, or you think it should be done now. Ultimately, again, I don't understand how anybody looks at the situation and thinks the best chance of us to get Champions League football is sticking with the status quo. Is, again, staying with a manager who's lost 3 in a row, 16 in a season. How can we as fans be expected to take this seriously when the club aren't taking it seriously? The club don't give a fuck about winning in the same way we as fans do. The players, look, we can get into that as well, because they should be embarrassed with what they've put up this season. PSG acting like they won the tie, embarrassing. Well, they have. Honestly, do you think we're turning this around? I think it's going to be the same again at Anfield, only for 15-20 minutes of a bit more fight at the start because the crowd are there. Look, PSG know that they had an easy evening there, and they know they probably should have won that game by more. No Salah, no Partey, Slot out now. So we went from a situation where there was some talk with Sky and some people and social media about Rio maybe starting the game. And it went from that to him not even getting onto the pitch. So again, I don't know why he brings some of these guys on the bench. Why are we bringing Neone on for 3 minutes of garbage time at the end of the game again? And look at it. Let's look at the stats. His possession-based dream, the team that he wants to become. He talks about his footballing philosophies over and over again. Well, he's not living with them. 26% possession to 74. 18 shots, 6 on target to 3 shots, none on target. 253 passes to their 744. They are what Arne Slot thinks in his head we are. It's just... we're just going to have to tough it out, folks, together. PSG had over 500 passes. We were weak. They had 700, nearly 750. Nearly 3 times the amount of passes as us. And look at the passing accuracy from them. 92% of those nearly 750 passes got to their man. So crap, we sent the team out not to get mullered. And that's what we did, Mark. So for all him talking about players not being able to play in a back 3 system because they've played 4-3-3 or some variation of it the whole career, what does he do in the biggest game of the season? Reverts to a back 3. Brilliant. So what you're saying is you don't have footballing philosophies. You don't have a belief in what you're doing is right. You can say that he's trying to do anything to get a response from the players. But ultimately, we're the ones suffering. Because that was a mauling again. Another 3 losses in a row. How is he still in a job? Because so many people that talk about the Liverpool way are just trying to make the Liverpool way being about accepting mediocrity. And it needs to stop. Liverpool fans are sick of it. How many people have you seen in the chat tonight say, I've been a Liverpool fan 20, 30, 40 years, and this is as bad as it's been? I don't know what else I can say. There's only so many times we can all be angry. We can all scream. We can all shout. This is dispiriting, and this is going to get toxic. This is getting worse. Virgil van Dijk couldn't lead me into a fucking brothel. I don't know what type of leadership this is out there, but again, so bad. I bet you Slot will say we were unlucky to concede a deflected shot, but won't say how lucky we were that PSG were so wasteful and didn't get a penalty in the end. This should have been at least 6-0 to PSG. He'll come out with some gobbledygook about, I've seen some things I liked, some things I didn't like, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, like I said, Pep Guardiola, Luis Enrique, managers with an actual footballing philosophy, don't bend. This is us. This is what we're best at. Let's go and force our will on them. What you seen today was a beta end attitude from a beta manager sending a team of beta boys out there to be a bitch. That's what you seen. A manager set up not to get whooped. Not good enough. This is Liverpool Football Club. Arna probably off to O-Beats now with Lineker. A high school coach could get more out of this team than this blockhead. He's overcomplicating everything, and they aren't even executing the most basic of football. Clean passes, blocks, interceptions, put the ball in the frame. They've done nothing tonight, mate. Nothing. We went out there not to get trounced. That was it. That was the extent of the ambition. I know you haven't forgotten, Craig, but second leg next week. It'll also be the Hillsborough anniversary. This is going to hurt like no other arrogant slot. So, like you've said, big jungle man. Normally, a 2-0 loss away from home, the Champions League in a knockout stage, we're sitting here going, not great, but it's doable. It's winnable. Normally, that's how we felt over the years. That anything outside of 5, 6s and 7s is salvageable at Anfield. I don't for 1 second think we have the ability to turn this round at home. Not once. How could I? Because that wasn't a 2-0 that we were competitive in. I mentioned earlier on when somebody brought up the Barcelona 3-0 away from home. That was never a 3-0 game. We were in that game. That tonight, we weren't competitive. We were second best all around the park. Declan said, starting to hate Arna. What were those tactics? It was, again, everything he professes to hate. Bangs on about low blocks, bangs on about teams coming to shut up shop, bangs on about his football and philosophies, and then goes out and plays like that and sets a team up like that. What was the best case scenario there? A 0-0? Which was really unlikely, let's be honest, because you knew PSG were going to create chances. We can't blame Salah or Gakpo. Had 3 defenders and defended badly anyway. Midfield outrun and outclassed. Our attack was non-existent. We'd no tactics, no fight, no press. Isak on instead of Rio or Salah. So, yes. Again, not that we want to scapegoat or blame any individual players, but I don't understand what the plan was today, outside of not to get beaten. Like I said, there was no attacking threat in that team. None. What's the point in having players like Wirtz out there if you're not going to play to their strengths, if you're not going to give them the platform to show what they can do? Ekitike was up front like a headless chicken with nobody supporting him anytime he got the ball. It's so sad, folks, that we just have to keep suffering because of the stubbornness and pig-headedness of people who hide in the shadows. Get him sacked tonight. This is unbearable, said Stan. Maddie said, the fact they're talking about us going through. Yeah, I look, honestly, does anybody in the chat really think we have a chance? Really? So Connor's asked, should Slot be sacked before the second leg? We'll leave that run. But I want to know, does anybody in there, in the chat right now, have genuine hope for the second leg? Other than the mythology of Anfield? Swedish coach says yes. There's a load of no's in there as well. From Dan, from Grim Reaper, from Mayu, from Shea Trainer, from Queen Gunner, from Tipperary, Golden Galaxy. So anybody who said yes, thank you for answering, by the way. But if you've said yes, explain to me why outside of the Anfield factor. Because the Anfield factor needs something to feed off. So let's say we go and play at Anfield and we show up and we play well. That's again an indictment of those players. Because why couldn't they do that tonight? Where was the fight tonight? You know, remember, in the last week, we've heard these players talk about Mo leaving the club, wanting to give him the big send-off, and we've lost 3 games in a row again. I am fed up of this and not enough of this. Honest Watch Review said, where's the fight? That's what I can't take any more of. Losing is one thing, but at least give it a go. Yes, go out on your shield. Game after game, a proof he hasn't got what's needed for top flight football. Just miserable to watch now. Yes, but look, Will, as this is going on, I've got to be honest, folks. not only is my frustration for Arna growing, but I am really, really angry at these players. Because it feels like they're down in tools. It feels like they've accepted their fate. And you don't get to do that when you wear a Liverpool shirt. Fans travel to that game. And again, what the manager has done is cowardly in the way he sent us out. Players are not fighting for that shirt. And it's unacceptable. So yes, the manager is going to bear the brunt of this. But these players need a wake-up call as well. And they need to know that this is fucking unacceptable. Generational player in Rio can't even get a look. Yep, exactly. Last season, when we played them over here, young Desiree Doué came off the bench and kind of announced himself to some of us that didn't know all that much about him. And we have an undoubted talent who the manager won't even give a run out to. Chad, my nephew, was crying. Thanks a lot. I hope Chad's okay. Now, I finished my night with a Norwegian doc with Kloppo and Björn Dahlen. Good night. Appreciate you, Ruby. Thank you, mate. No heart, no tenacity, no structure, no imagination. Relying on Gomez long throw-ins, said Deck. Roger Shippey said 0 chance in the second leg. One of the worst performances I've been supporting this club for over 60 years, said Alan Sutton. Embarrassing tactical plan from Slot, said LFCJ. And look, thank you. It's important that you guys vent, have your say. And as I said, anybody that's coming in to banter us, we've earned that banter. We deserve that banter. We've got to take it on the chin. We had more holes in our defence than effing cheese. Like, why set us up with a low block? What is it about our defence, our defending, that makes them think we're going to be able to withstand the pressure? I don't get it. If we were, like, if this was Arsenal under Arteta and they went over there and played with their backs to the wall like that, I'd understand it. Because he'd back his defence to go out there and do something and maybe nick something from a set piece. But can we really say that we believe in that defence to keep clean sheets? Not a chance. Like I said, 2-0 doesn't do justice to how one-sided that game was. Sorry, folks. Steve said, we outran them. Running away counts in the stats. Lucan said, or excuse me, is it Luca? Apparently, my apologies, sir, if I got your name wrong there. Lucas and Redis said, it's an absolute disgrace. Every single game we can't beat sides worse than us and can't beat sides better than us. He's getting it wrong every game. Look, fair enough, PSG are a good side. Credit where it's due. And they showed that tonight again. But remember what they did to Chelsea in the second leg as well. I'm, again, fearful this could be a rout. Let me read you out some of the comments from the players and the coach after the game. Bear with me. Keane sent me through a few here. So, let's read out this one from Anfield Watch. So, Anfield Watch have said, 0 shots on target, 9 touches in the PSG box, 28% aerial duel success, and carved open for 4 big chances. What was the plan here? Liverpool just offered nothing at either end in possibly their biggest game of the entire season. You're not wrong, lads. You're not wrong. Lewis Steele, and again, spot on from Mr. Steele, said these teams went toe-to-toe a year ago. Then Liverpool spent £450 million, PSG only £100 million and sold the best player in the tie, Gigi Donnarumma. But one team has gone hugely backwards and the gap between them is now huge. Liverpool played off the park and got away with one that it's only 2-0. Finally, some more honesty, and thank you to Lewis Steele for writing that because it was garbage. This has been Liverpool's run of games. Wolves 2, Liverpool 1. Wolves 1, Liverpool 3. Galatasaray 1, Liverpool 0. Liverpool 1, Spurs 1. Liverpool 4, Galatasaray 0. Brighton 2, Liverpool 1. Man City 4, Liverpool 0. PSG 2, Liverpool 0. We've conceded 8 goals and scored 1 in the last 3 games. There's nothing left to be upbeat or positive about. Arne Slot in April 2023. I tend not to look at Mourinho's team because I get nothing out of it. I'd rather watch Pep Guardiola's team. That's the style I follow. Arne Slot in 2026. 5 at the back, no midfield and no attacking threat. Like I said, he doesn't have a footballing philosophy. He's just a fucking spoofer. Because Guardiola or Klopp or anybody else that actually believes in their system doesn't do that. Virgil van Dijk said, tough work, but what was expected? We defended with a lot of bodies around the box. Fuck off, you clown. Just shut up, Virgil. You ran back away to the goal, ignored runners, and didn't get your bodies on the line for challenges again, outside of Joe Gomez. You're so full of shit. You're the Liverpool captain. Speak with honesty. You were bitch slapped yet again by a team that outfought, outworked, outthought you. And you're going to come sell us this pup. Nonsense. Embarrassing. That's our captain. Unfortunately, the first goal was a deflection. Yes, you fucking clown. It was a deflection. But why was it? Because you didn't close him down quick enough. Because you gave him 5 yards of space to get his head up and get a shot away. And you put a lazy fucking leg out. That's why it was a deflection. It should have been a block with you throwing your body on the line, but you were too slow again. This lad's doing my head in. He's our captain. Fucking delusional. Too much smoke blown up their arse by PR executives and yes men. Few home truths need to come out now. Virgil van Dijk on if it's manageable to turn the tie around. We shouldn't forget we play against the European champions of last season and the quality they have. It doesn't really matter away or home, so we have to be spot on with everything we do. Blah, 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 fucking blah. It's just more empty words. Jesus Christ. How about an apology to the fans again? How about anything that says you understand the frustration that everybody related to Liverpool is feeling right now? Because unlike Virgil, we all aren't multimillionaires. We don't get to just go on about our day. This is fucking pathetic. And our captain is just, again, delusional. Arne, if you reflect on the whole game, we should be lucky we only lose 2-0. The first goal felt hard. We hadn't given that away, but still have to go to Anfield. Yeah, and we'll be beaten again. Because you're clueless and your players don't want to play for you. Where are your morals? Where are your principles? Where's your footballing philosophies that you bang on about, you fucking fraud? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of people letting this happen over and over again. Speak up. Have your say. Be like Lewis Steele. Be honest. And write about this. Write about how far we've fallen. £450 million. And we were competitive there last year. And we were bitch slapped this year. Because this fucking beta boy of a manager just wants to go down and fucking... He's basically asking, can he fucking tickle Luis Enrique's balls before these games? It's an embarrassment that this is the leadership we have. James said, I mean, what did we expect? Our wingers are so bad that we're using a right back, a right winger, a midfielder at left wing to produce no width. Our defence gets torn apart because our wingers are actually good. Their wingers are actually good. Mate, I don't know what to say anymore. I'm heartbroken with where this season has gone. And I'm even more heartbroken by the amount of people that are trying to condone this or accept this. It's so bad. Sorry, I'm just trying... I know I've missed some super chats, so I'm trying to play catch up here. Felt like we played against the 2018 Klopp team. They want to raise ticket prices after that. Could have lost 10. He's not getting sacked. K8 said, or KB, excuse me, KB said, we can win the second leg if we sack Slot today. I've said that to myself so many times, mate, over the last while. It can still be saved if you do the right thing. But the point that I just would like to again ram home is, how can you look at this objectively as a sporting director or as an owner and genuinely do a cost-benefit analysis and come up to the conclusion that your best bet to qualify for the Champions League is to remain with the status quo? Please, somebody, explain that to me. Because it isn't working, it hasn't worked, it's not going to work, and we're doubling down on it. It's almost like we're wishing no Champions League football next season, rather than proactively trying to save it. Whale Gali said, I won't blame the players. Slot has them convinced that they're not good enough. They do not know what to do. They look lost. I don't think we can let them off the hook solely, mate. We can't. There's still pride to play for. There's still the badge on their chest to play for. There's still the ungodly amounts of money they're being paid to play for. What's wrong here is, and I said this so many times over the years, everyone's great when they're being told how brilliant they are. When you win the league title and everyone's fawning over you and you're having parties and they're telling you how great you are and, you know, you believe your own hype. But we lost the hunger again like that. You know, this was supposed to be Liverpool announcing themselves in the summer of an era, a time, sustained success. And yet again, we haven't got the stomach to defend the title or put up any type of a defence. There's just too much yes in football and not enough honesty, not enough brutal truths told to these players. Football is, again, turning into a cowardly business where people are afraid to say anything, say boo to a ghost, because they might upset somebody. Well, these lads are insulting every one of us, as is that coach, with the mediocrity they're serving up week in and week out. Where was I? PSG might as well bring back the game against Lens. Yeah, and that's another point to make here. They have a full week, well, 6 days to rest. They have no league game. Whereas we play Fulham on Saturday at 5:30. These players gave up 3 months ago. Get Slot gone. Yeah. And look, that hurts to say. Because again, this is one of the great unspokens in football fandom. You know, team doesn't show up, manager gets fired, new manager comes in, all of a sudden they rediscover effort and how to play football. So the players, I don't think, should get a pass here. Because no doubt, if a new manager came in, they would get something from them. They would get a response from them. So the players don't get out of this scot-free, in my opinion. Maybe it's because I've watched Slot for so long, but I don't feel any emotions anymore. Not even anger, just apathy. We got lucky PSG went soft on us. We got lucky they couldn't shoot properly. Like I said, couldn't argue if that was 4 or 5-0. Off the back of, like, we're not getting a response. They were embarrassed by Manchester City in the FA Cup, the biggest defeat of Slot's era. And that's the reaction to that embarrassment. That's the message to the fan base. You know, where's the big send-off you want to give Mo, you fucking spoofers? That's it. That's the reaction to a 4-0 drubbing. That's what they serve up again. Cal said, mate, I'm concerned if they stick with Slot until the summer, we genuinely finish in the bottom half. Our run-in plus this team is terrifying. So, look, for me, I just don't get it. I don't get looking at it and thinking he gives you the best chance. It just feels like there's some mad sadomasochistic desire for it to have to really completely blow up before anything is done. And then we'll have to suffer the brunt of that by not being in the Champions League, not having as much money to spend, not being as attractive to propositions to come in. The knock-on effect of this is huge because we talk about what we have to do in the summer and how we get better, but we have to remember the teams in and around us aren't going to just stand still. Man City, Arsenal, they're all going to get better. They're all going to bring in talent. And we're still playing catch-up. We've a long, long way to go. Craig, remember when we get almost a daily training video, wonder why it doesn't happen now? Because they don't do anything. They recover. That's it. Like, again, you can see people far better than me, far more versed on training methods and red zone coaching than me. That's where the intensity's gone. And I said this the other day, and I can't back this up with anything other than my own thoughts, but you go from a team that Klopp had, and then we won the league last year, and it felt like this was the remnants of Klopp's season. The fitness was still there. And that this season again, 450 million, his own chance to put a stamp on it, and this is what he serves up. From a United fan, yes, Slot should have been sacked. You know, it's very rare, mate. We'll use United as an example of what we should do, but look at the result. And I think you guys, as United fans, will admit, Michael Carrick's no Sir Alex Ferguson. But he went into that dressing room and commanded respect because he can talk about what it means to win in that shirt, what it means to lift a trophy in that shirt. He understands what is expected, and he's able to get the players to at least respond, to go back to basics, to do the hard yards. But our club, no. Liverpool way, apparently, is to just accept mediocrity. Billy, how are you? Hi Craig, Chelsea fan here. The Rio treatment is terrible. I'm a fan who wants to see good players play. When we play Estavio, we cook, so let Rio play. Mate, I worry about the damage to his confidence. I just do. Look, I understand being measured in playing a young player, the age of Rio. I do understand that. But it's getting to the point now where we have zero pace in attack. And we've got a player there who can at least try and make something happen. Take a man on. Mix it up. And our manager, again, no chance to play him. Aaron said 0 shots on target. Yeah, 0. 0. Here's Arne Slot on Champions League next season and facing Fulham. We knew that when we came back from the international break, all these games would be vital. We need wins in the Premier League. I hope my players can bring the same mentality. What? The same mentality as what? Lube themselves up and say to PSG, here we are, lads, have your way with us. At the Etihad, we didn't get the win, but we tried from the first until the last second. I'm done, lads. I've nothing else to say. I'm going to end up in prison if I continue to talk. Look, honestly, how can he say we tried from the first minute to the last at the Etihad? He genuinely came out with that statement. Was he watching a different game? Is he watching a repeat of a game from 2016 or 17? What the fuck? They rolled over in the Etihad. I'm clutching, but anything possible second leg at Anfield. You are clutching. And normally, mate, I'd agree with you. But how can any of us think that we're going to turn this around? There's no signs of it. And this is the response to the 4-0 drubbing. To the biggest defeat of the manager's reign. That's the response we've seen to it tonight. How many times have we lost a family member, but within a week have to get on with life? It's sad about Jota, but no excuse. Look, what angers me the most, Jamie, about that is how quickly it went from let's have a memorable season to honour our lost friend. How quickly that became but, and an excuse. So using it for inspiration, that didn't happen. So now we're lazily trying to say, well, this happened. Of course it's a part of it. It's a factor in the season. But we are now 9 months into this league. And we're not getting better. Another 3 losses in a row. 16 losses in a season? Like, what is there to be on board with anymore? There's too many players that are way past their best. For me, when a new manager comes in, a clear out is needed. Yeah, I can't argue about a lot of players underperforming or playing on past reputations. You know, it's a fair point. Getting to a point where I can't stand this manager, said the guy. Sometimes we do see tiki-taka drills, but in the game we stand miles away from the ball. Real example of that, and somebody mentioned it earlier on. PSG played like we used to play under Jurgen. Every time they lost the ball, 2 or 3 of them were hounding to get it back, surrounding our players and winning it back. That's the difference. We just don't have that appetite. When Klopp came for the Legends game, we should have tied him up and not allowed him to leave until he agreed to coach us for the rest of the season. So I want to see if I still have my notes here. I want to read something out to you. Bear with me. Sorry, just bear with me 1 second. So, Jurgen Klopp, on keeping players motivated who aren't playing, had this to say to Peter Crouch. Treating them completely normal. Don't forget them. A week with 3 games, it was fast. You wake up on Monday and whoop, it's Friday. We have a game on Wednesday and you can't remember it. In this week, you need to take the time to give them all the attention. You know the players who didn't start the day before, and you give this training session the next day. How is the mood? Who's responsible for the mood? I can't stand on the sideline and think, oh, they're not in the best shape. Maybe they're angry because of yesterday, or I give them reasons where they can be in a good mood. It's my job to help them find a little light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not forever. He also said this on his squad. I don't think something like that is possible in each other city. There are cities out there where it's possible because the power we create out of this is togetherness. That is how it is. The superpower of Liverpool Football Club is the togetherness. Somehow it happened that we were really together, really strong, and we could move mountains. That togetherness isn't there anymore because the relationship, the trust is broken between the fans and the coach, and maybe between the players and the coach. That's it. As he said, he summarised it perfectly. And I've said it to you numerous times. We're at our best when we're full of emotion and everyone's pulling in the same direction. You can't fake it. You can't spoof it. But again, let's see what happens on Tuesday against PSG, because there's not a chance we're going through, in my opinion. Quad subs and selling at one of them, brutal. Nor was Rio, but I get your point, Peter, yeah. Looking like we've never played together for the first 20. Pundits saying we're playing well. What the fuck happened to our team? It's getting painful. Are there really pundits trying to say we played well? Like, genuinely, is that really happening? Because I don't get it. I mean, I'm fully in the Lewis Steele camp here, because I think this is probably the most concise way this has been put so far, and he worded it better than my dumb ass could have. These teams went toe-to-toe a year ago. Then Liverpool spent £450 million, PSG spent £100 million and sold the best player in that tie, Gigi Donnarumma. But one team has gone hugely backwards and the gap between them now is huge. Liverpool played off the park and got away with one that it's only 2-0. That's honesty, because that reflects what we've seen out there. So, Arne Slot, and if there's any chance they can still go through. Probably I have to refer to last season, which gives me the best feeling. I have to refer to the history of this club and how much impact Anfield can make for a performance. Exactly. He's hoping the fans now are able to get something from the players that he can't. We were outplayed here last season. PSG were better than us today and could have scored more. Liverpool players showed fighting spirit and kept going, which was necessary. If you don't run back or track back, these players like City can't hurt you. Does somebody want to show him Alexis McAllister not getting a free kick and then throwing himself to the ground and protest about it and not getting his arse up and tracking back? Does somebody want to show him Virgil van Dijk running away for Dembele? I don't know what he's looking at, but I know he's talking out his arse again. Lee Turn of the Athletics tweeted saying Arne's tactics today could be effective and essentially defending today's performance. That's because that outlet continuously come to bat to do whatever the club say. They're losing credibility. Since they got taken over from, I think it's the New York Times, it's not the same outlet. All they do now is get briefed by Hughes and Edwards, what they want them to hear. Ornstein, Pearce and everybody else comes out and talks absolute shite and gaslights fans. Anybody who knows anything about football should look at that and think that's unacceptable again. And again, in context, this is a reaction to the biggest defeat of the Arne Slot reign against City. And this is what they played like. Just want him gone. No press, no mindset. Just awful, said Ellis. Pulse Champ said, in the minority here, but I still have hope ahead of next week. The Anfield factor cannot be ignored. Tonight was still disgraceful. Rio had to get on. So we talk about the Anfield factor, right? Do you think that Anfield is going to believe? They're going to be noisy. They're going to do their best. But this relationship needs two parts to work together. The players need to give Anfield something to feed off. So no doubt we'll be fast at the start. But let's see if there's any adversity, how we react to it. Because I can't see them not scoring at Anfield. Because they should have scored 5 or 6 today. And they beat us there last year. So really, I just don't see any indication that a turnaround is possible. Other than mythology and hope. And you should always have hope. That's important. I just personally don't feel it. Hope you and the fam are good. Not too bad, thanks, dude. Slot said they rest 3 days in 1 game weeks. When I played academy football, 16 years of age in Norway, we had 1-2 days off if the game was in weekends. I don't know, mate. I don't know. But like I've said, it's only going to get worse and they need to do something. They need to do something. If they don't, we're going back. We're going backwards. Players are going to want to leave. I'm honestly scared for the future because how we've gone from the excitement and enthusiasm in August to this in 9 months is... I've not seen nothing like it. We have the best German footballer in the world and don't know how to use him. He puts up 2 goal contributions a game internationally and we can't bring his best. I know, because he doesn't know how to utilise him. What do you think we do till the end of the season? It's touch and go. If we can get... Look, we might get lucky this weekend if we can beat Fulham. Chelsea have Man City. That's going to be a tough one. If they lose that game and we happen to win, that gives us a bit of a buffer. But we've got tough games coming up as well. And where do you see the next win coming from? Yeah, I don't understand where we get the confidence from here. This is another 3 games in a row losing run at Liverpool Football Club. And it's not even the first one of the season. It's at least the second. All Klopp's work gone. Back to being sleeping giants, said Jaden. Ali McCoy thinks we're still in with a chance. Good. I'm glad he's feeling positive about it. Now ask him, would he put money on it? Because I bet you he wouldn't. Sack before next and support Chelsea. And you support Chelsea. He shouldn't even be here now, dude. He should have been sacked in November. Xabi Alonso will be Liverpool manager July 1st, said Sunil. I think with an early goal there will be belief. So again, we've jumped to the belief there will be an early goal from us. Do you think PSG are scared of us? Do you think they're going to come and be scared of us? They're not a team wet behind the ears. They came there last season and won and celebrated. They're not. There's no fear factor to them coming over. They're not scared of us. They're probably in that dressing room deflated right now, feeling that game should have been 3, 4, 5, 6. Soboslai might actually leave. We're so doomed. Thanks, Slot. Bananong says Sweden's pundits have been calling out Slot for this horrible coaching since December, January. When will Carrot and the others start doing the same? You know the answer to that. Until they're told from the club the direction of travel, the dishonesty is going to remain. Camera not on, that's a sackable offence, playing Canade. Camera on, I back Arne Slot. It's not honest, because he knows. He's not stupid. None of these guys are. They know their football. Mythology is people with power, comes in and suck us dry and keeps it business only. Look, that's all we have is mythology now to look forward to and hope. Because there's no evidence to suggest it's coming. And as I said, the big comeback against Barca was off the back of a game we were really unlucky to lose 3-0. It was never a 3-0 game. Tonight, 2-0 didn't do justice to how one-sided it was. And that's the only positive to take from it, is that it is just 2-0. Craig, if you were an up-and-coming star, would you sign for a slot? Look at what he's doing to a worldly inverts. No, I wouldn't. I probably would have last summer, naively, but not this year, because this is, again, like, another thing that grinds my gears is they talk about the amount of change that happened in one season, like they didn't intentionally do that. They ignored the summer before and the January before because they wanted Slot to assess the squad. Then they moaned that there was too much change in one summer, when that was intended. And I'm supposed to believe that we're going to see a similar number of change next year, but it's going to be better under him? I don't get it. You think the players gave up? They looked hopeless? I don't know if I'd say gave up, but I think they know they're second best. Couldn't watch the game, but can't believe we didn't have a shot on target. Shocking. I know, mate, and yet there are still people trying to somehow defend this. Slot saying Paris Saint-Germain winds me up. Slot saying anything winds me up at this point, mate. Look, folks, I'm going to wind this down in a moment and go and record the player ratings video. If you would like to submit your ratings to be included, there's still time to do it. All you have to do is scan that QR code on the screen there now. That will bring you into the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp, where you will see the Google form there to submit your ratings. And again, we appreciate all your support. Jamie Kirk said, we listen to pundits and ex-players because we think they know what they're talking about. Sometimes the fans know best. So they do know what they're talking about, Jamie. Absolutely they do. But they're not being sincere. That's the problem I have here. They're being disingenuous and they know it. Because they don't believe that Arna can turn this round. They don't for 1 second believe it. They're not stupid. They know a lost dressing room when they see it. They know a beaten team when they see it. And they know a manager who can turn it around when they see it. So they're just being... And that's what makes it all the more egregious, is that they haven't even got the courage of their convictions to stand up and say that this is bullshit. And that winds me up. Arna said, we're in survival mode for large parts of the game, but maybe in the period of the season we're in survival mode to find ways where we can try to make sure the qualities are not seen as much. Mate, you've lost 3 games in a row again. Like, there's no survival mode. You're drowning. We lost 3 in a row. There is no surviving going on. Let's not forget PSG didn't have Bradley Barcola and they left him back at Anfield with a full week off. We play Fulham. I can't see a way we win. Exactly. They have a full week, well, 6 days to prepare. No game in between. The last game they had was on the Friday. Barcola might be back. And they're going to be full of confidence. And they have the muscle memory of coming and winning last year at Anfield. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I'm going to go... Slot deserves time. He earned it after winning a title. That ran out. He got his time. Now he's just taking the piss. Just because you win a league title doesn't give you carte blanche to fail over and over and over. He's lost 16 games in a season. We've been beaten 3 times in a row for the second time this season. We were beaten by 3 goals or more 3 times in a row. Every record has been smashed in the wrong direction. So no, he doesn't deserve more time. He's had that time. Now he's taking the piss. And anybody that thinks he deserves more time, I'm sorry, you're being either willfully ignorant or you're just that kind of person where you don't have fight in you. But I'm sorry, I know what I'm looking at and it isn't good enough. And there's no justification to try and explain away this man continuously underachieving. Right, folks. I did read out some super chats. Yeah, sorry, I tried to get through them all. There was this one and this one. If there's one in particular, do let me know, mate. I'm trying to catch up here. This one said, thoughts on Ange for Liverpool manager. We've done that one. That was from earlier on. So yeah, sorry, I am playing catch up here and I'm trying to get through them all as well as dip back into the chat. So my apologies. Let me just quickly look. Oliver, I think I've done that one. Let me scroll back a bit more. Hope you and the fam are good. Thank you, that one. Just want him gone. No press, no mindset, just awful. Mohammed said, hey Craig, big fan. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Sometimes you don't need a technically brilliant manager, but somebody who can bring passion back into the players. Exactly. Especially when you're in a dogfight. You do need that. Somebody who can bring fight in. Craig, you look a bit like Slot. Are you related? No, if we were related, I'd drown him. Because he'd be an embarrassment to me. Looking like we've never played together for the first 20, said Paul. Pundits saying we played well. What the fuck happened to our team? I think I've gone through most of them, mate. Thundercats Litterbox said, when Klopp came for the Legends game, we should have tied him up and not allowed him to leave. I definitely remember reading that one. Will said, there's a bit too many players way past their best. Yeah, again, I think I've done that one, Will. Yeah, I don't know what ones I've missed, mate. Honestly, I'm trying to get through them. Tiger Valley said, maybe it's because I've watched Slot for so long, but I don't feel any emotions anymore. Just apathy. These players gave up 3 months ago. So yeah, I think we can win the second leg if we sack Slot today. We could have lost 10. He's not getting sacked, said Malty. Do you see him gone if we lose to Fulham in the second leg? I honestly don't know anymore what it'll take to get him gone, mate. But look, Malty, I missed yours. I'm sure I just read it out. We could have lost 10. He's not getting sacked. Yeah, I just read that one out. Sorry for missing it initially as well, mate. My apologies. What even is our footballing philosophy? Seriously, what's the plan? Every single time we have an option to put a quick 1-2 pass, we ignore it and pass backwards. This one from Dark Ruby said VVD should be stripped of being captain now. I think players not playing for him now, said Rob. Agree on that one. Carbon said, hey Craig, we were lucky today, as you said. I don't know what else to say about this team and the coach. His tactics are just awful. And not using the players in the right position is killing me. The momentum of the team. Slot out, excuse me. Freudian slip. Kelvin, it is Kelvin, said, I've been a supporter since 65. I've been excited, elated, disappointment, devastated over the years. This is the first time I've been indifferent. Yeah. I don't think I could say I'm indifferent myself, Kelvin, but I do feel like it's not a surprise anymore to see the losses coming. I was prepared for the weekly nosebleed. Somehow it was worse, said Chancellor Mohida. Appreciate your support as always, my friend, and thank you for your 26 months as a member. There's no way they don't fire him after this game, right? I doubt they will, mate. What's the point in this? They don't give a fuck about us, said G. Lewis. We're playing without hope, said Barry Owens. So I think I've gone through them all there now. It's an absolute disgrace every single game. We can't beat sides worse than us and we can't beat sides better than us. So look, I hope I've gone through them all. My apologies if I did miss any out, sincerely. I'll see you guys for the player ratings video. It should be recorded and up in the next 20 minutes. Thank you for joining me again tonight. Really appreciate your support. I'm sorry with what everyone's going through and what we're seeing, but it surely can't go on for much longer than this. We'll see you soon. Appreciate it.